I would like to limit myself to autoimmune neurologic diseases. Hope I am audible and the slide is visible.
Yes, you are audible, visible. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So the contents I have organized it with an intention to give a brief about autoimmune neurologic disease. I'll cut short as far as possible. Especially, I want to focus on Guillain-Barré syndrome and multiple sclerosis, the modern aspect, and how to approach these two conditions through Ayurveda and also Avasthanusar Chikitsa Sutra. So, autoimmune neurologic diseases are caused by adaptive immune response directed against a specific component in the nervous system, maybe axon or in the myelin sheath. Most commonly, it will be either post-infectious or maybe primary autoimmune disorder where there may be no other cause, but there will be familial history. Most commonly, paraneoplastic, neurologic diseases. There will be neural antigen expressed by the tumor, which will attack the components of the nervous system. So, all these autoimmune neurologic diseases are diagnosed at a younger age, and it is progressive. There may be history of infection or there may be history of infection or vascular injury. Especially to highlight the multiple sclerosis, MS here with I'll be calling is common in younger, whereas MG or myasthenia gravis is bimodal, one peak at late adolescence and later in the adult. So the autoimmune neurologic diseases tend to have preponderance to the gender. Let me correct it. So GBS is, for example, Guillain-Barré syndrome is common in men. So based on the immunologic mechanism and related pathology, the autoimmune neurologic disease can be classified as autoantibody mediated, T cell mediated, granulomatous inflammatory, auto-inflammation, inflammatory pathology, and the most important, the upcoming is a iatrogenic activation of a specific component. So here, the most common the class of autoimmune neurologic disease, autoantibody mediated disorder, where today we are going to discuss or briefly discuss about is GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome, myasthenia gravis, systemic lupus erythematosus. I will be more focusing on only two. So I would like to highlight about the role of or use of glucocorticoids and chemotherapeutic agents and intravenous immunoglobulins in almost all these conditions, which is a challenge for Ayurveda physician to tackle. Second class is T cell mediated, with the most commonest class is multiple sclerosis, Sjogren syndrome, where again glucocorticoids and cyclophosphamide is the medication. Next class is granulomatous inflammation. Most common example is sarcoidosis, where again glucocorticoid, TNF alpha inhibitors, and cyclophosphamide anti-interleukin 6R is the treatment. Next important class is the less common class is autoinflammatory pathology, where the Behçet's disease is the example, and the last one is iatrogenic activation of the specific immune process that will lead to neurologic conditions, where in both these glucocorticoid and TNF alpha inhibitors, again Visha is the line of the management from modern perspective. So whatever may be the cause of autoimmune neurologic disease, certain routine laboratory workup has to be done, so to exclude alternative non-inflammatory condition. So here this slide shows about the common markers of inflammation and autoimmunity which has to be done. Especially I would like to highlight about ESR, CRP, ANA, anti-DS DNA, ANC, ANCP. There are many other inflammatory and intermediary inflammatory markers, antibody detection that will help in specific diagnosis. Besides this, to rule out other pathologies, CBC, electrolyte, glucose, then RFT, LFT, ammonia, vitamin B12. There are several battery of investigations which needs to be done. So most important is when it comes to autoimmune neurologic disease, imaging technique play a role where electromyogram with nerve conduction study will help in determining the exact location. Besides this, lumbar puncture will also help, and most important, CT and MRI with or without contrast of gadolinium can help in ruling out other pathologies. Let us come to the Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is the most commonest. I want to draw attention. It can be severe, acute, paralytic neuropathy, which mostly involves a peripheral nervous system. So it is heterogeneous, rapidly progressive disease. Most important point to note is it is monophasic, in course, mostly having a post-infectious presentation. Usually it is a non-relapsing. So there can be several, alternate to this, but it's mostly non-relapsing with a prevalence of 2.7 per lakh per year. So it's more common in male and has a seasonal fluctuation. So the point to note here from a therapeutic perspective, despite active medication, it is associated with severe weakness, incomplete recovery, and pain. And the most important point from Chikitsa perspective, it has a long disease course, can cause autonomic dysfunction, deterioration in general health. Most important to note while we treat through with Ayurveda is about life-threatening complications, which may pose a great challenge is a respiratory failure. So 1 to 2 weeks post immune stimulation, clinical manifestation begins with a rapidly evolving fleximotor paralysis with or without a sensory disturbance. So I'm not going to go in detail about the signs and symptoms, but I'm just trying to highlight the whole disease as a whole. So typically weakness is ascending paralysis, evolves over hours to few days. More common, the weakness is more predominant in lower limb than the upper limb. Cranial nerves may also be involved. So the most important component challenging is tingling, dysthesias, autonomic disturbance, which will pose a lot of difficulty during treatment. And the most important to remember is about respiratory failure. So these are the types. AIDP and MN are the two types, depending on the component of the nervous system that is involved. If it is myelin sheath is involved, it is the most commonest type is acute inflammatory demyelinating polyneuropathy. When the axon is involved, it is acute motor axon neuropathy. So next commonest autoimmune neurologic condition is multiple sclerosis. No doubt, I believe that 1 in 5,000 in the clinical practice, most of us come across where this condition. So chronic, it's a chronic inflammatory demyelinating disease of brain and spinal cord. I would like to highlight that in India, opticospinal form is very common. See, the cause is unknown. The real challenge is the cause is unknown. There are several theories pointing toward genetics, infection, and environmental factors in this. But to remember the multiple sclerosis, it's the inflammation is the hallmark of this condition. So it may involve a specific part, or it may part of the brain or the spinal cord. It may be diffuse. So it's really challenging. Okay, so it was considered uncommon, but because of very frequent or availability of MRI, this is very frequently diagnosed. So coming to the variants, the most commonest, since there is shortage of time, the most commonest is relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, which makes the major chunk of multiple sclerosis. So the point, like most others, like Jitesh sir presented, is the lack of publication. Even though the Ayurveda physician, they manage autoimmune neurologic condition, especially Guillain-Barré and multiple sclerosis, there is very few publications available. Next important, the Ayurvedic understanding of these two, and including autoimmune neurologic diseases very, very scanty, unclear. So I would consider still as a Anukta Vata Vyadhi and try to give my, humble opinion about this, or a learner's opinion. So obviously, the understanding points towards the management as Vata Vyadhi Chikitsa. Then this condition is correlated to all these disease entities, especially Guillain-Barré syndrome is correlated to Kapha Vata Vyana, where Avarana Chikitsa followed by Kevala Vata Chikitsa. All these conclusions are from the research papers rather than along with the experience of my colleagues and mine from my department. Then so GVS, let me repeat, Kaphavrita Vyana. Then second commonest correlation is Sarvangata Vata. So Kevala Vata Chikitsa is to be followed. Besides this disease or GBS is correlated with Asthimajjagata Vata, then Mamsagata, Medogata. I believe that the top two, the two conditions highlighted in the bold stands true. And multiple sclerosis is, very few publications, lot of, even though it is a prevalent condition, the Ayurveda publication or the publication from Ayurveda fraternity is, even though they treat very frequently, their publications is very less. I could able to find only two publications about, one case report from Google Scholar. He has correlated with Majjakshaya and Pranavrata Vyana. So here is this slide. I'm going to skip because of lack of time. So to make it simple, from the discussion I had with my colleagues, and I could able to put out this. The Guillain-Barré syndrome basically follows an Avarana pattern of pathology, where it is Sarva Shariragata and it is monophasic. So on this basis, as Vyatasa Chikitsa is to be followed. In the beginning, Kapha Pradhana or Kapha Vrita Vata, where it is involved, Langana followed by Kevala Vata Chikitsa. In case if it is only Vata Pradhana, then Brahmana line of management with the help of Basti, Balya, Brahmana, Rasayana modality can be used. Whereas in the second, the condition, that is multiple sclerosis, the analysis of pathology pointed towards the sclerosis. So the Rukshata of Rukshaguna of Vata is in its superlative degree. So that is leading to Dhatukshaya and Karmakshaya. So especially the pathology takes place in Shirasthana, and most important, the difference between the GBS and MS. The MS is progressive, where the opinion arrived is the Nasya and Murdni Taila is the prime line of management. Besides this, Vatahara line of management like Basti, Balya, Brahmana, Rasayana, all these can be followed. So in the first category, I would like to highlight that is in the Kafanabandi Vata condition, where it is prevalent in or rather present in Guillain-Barré syndrome. First is Langana and Rukshana. Usually we follow Panchakola Panta for Amapachana and Agni Deepana, followed by Dashimula Dhanyamladhara, which is combination of Dashimula and Dhanyamladhara for Rukshana, along with before that Udvartana we follow. After that, Mridu Virechana, then followed by that Snehana and Swedana and Basti modality, especially Abhyanga. Abhyanga is done. After that, if we believe that Avarka is Kapha, then Ruksha Sweda. If there is Kevalavata, then we follow Snigdha Sweda. And along with that, if there is Karsha, Balakshaya is obvious. Balakshaya is obvious, but if Karsha is predominant, we follow Shashtiksha Lipinda Sweda. And along with that, the show, Vata Shodhana, especially we may follow Dashmula or Erandamula, the Niruva Basti, followed by that Mustadi Rajapana Basti will really do. There is no difference, but between the Vata Vyadhi Chikitsa, and that's what I'm presenting. But it is the refinement in terms of the contents of Basti and the other that will give the difference or result. I would like to project one case report which is exemplary. I'm very happy to share that it is from Dr. B.S. Prasad sir's institute. So next category is Kevala Vata Chikitsa, where Brahmana line of management. Especially, I would like to highlight about the Rasayana. There is a huge rather than there is a dire need of Rasayana, especially Chavanprasha, Guru Rasayana, Balamula Rasayana, then Shilajit Rasayana for a longer duration of maybe 3 to 6 months may help in this. So in multiple sclerosis, Murni Taila, and I have already discussed. I strongly, the experience suggests that we have to avoid Mahan Sweda, especially Mrudu Sweda should be advised in case of multiple sclerosis. This I have already told. There is instead of that, let me project. Let me project after this conclusion, because it's worth telling that how a case report is to be done and how a rare disease is to be followed. So let me conclude, then I'll project the case report. So the early recognition of autoimmune etiology is more important than securing a specific diagnosis, as prompt institution of appropriately chosen empiric treatment that can prevent severe and irreversible neurologic disability is this quotation I have taken as it is from an article, which really highlights that we need to arrive at a proper diagnosis rather than trying to find out the cause. Then the most important point from therapeutic perspective, it requires longer duration of hospitalization and medication. Ayurveda can certainly help in manage the autoimmune disorders, supplemented with modern medicines, because there will be in time of aggravation, the diseases are progressive. So certainly the modern medical help is required. It's a multidisciplinary approach is really required. So before this, I would like to project the screen where I should quote this paper without this
Yes, sir.
projecting the paper. I think the presentation would be incomplete. This is about Ayurvedic management of Guillain-Barré syndrome, a case report. It is wonderful to see that it is very systematically presented. And I should say that the case of Guillain-Barré syndrome is followed up for 437 days, which is, I think, which is very much, very much rare. Such a prolonged, follow-up, systematic documentation. I recommend all the, audience to please go through this publication that is presented in JAME. Due to lack of time, and I have some more to say, but let me wind up. I just want to walk you through this. It is a beautiful presentation of how Guillain-Barré syndrome can be compared to Sargbhangagata Vata, and how what was the presentation in the patient. So that's really beautiful. So then they have explained about therapeutic intervention. Then all the parameters have been very, very systematically presented. I think it's an exemplary work, and yesterday I called Dr. Tubaki and said it's a wonderful paper, and I also congratulate and I salute B.S. Prasad sir for such a wonderful quality work. And we know that you are a stalwart. More than that, you are guiding star in the field of research. I thank everybody for patient listening. I thank GAF for the opportunity, Gangadharan sir, Jitesh sir, and Jayan sir, and most important is my principal, Dr. Prasanna N. Rao, for this opportunity. Thank you, sir.